What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is 90 Day Fiancé Season 8, Episode 4. So, we have Mike and Natalie. So, listen. Mike and Natalie, they're back at the house. She is not impressed with the house. She said it is like a trailer. The walls are paper thin, and she is always cold because she is in Washington in winter. So, I guess where she was coming from, I guess it don't get as cold, but honey, she is not feeling it. Said the house is cold, okay? Then they were going to cook breakfast. And Mike was like, well, let's make some French toast. And she was like, well, what's French toast? And so he explained to her what French toast was, and they got ready to make the French toast, and they made it, and they sat down to eat it, and she ate it, and I give her credit. She tried to be polite. You could tell immediately that she wasn't feeling it. Like, she ain't like it. She, and I feel like she's trying to, if she can't say something nice, just not say nothing at all. But Mike is like, well, she doesn't talk. I don't know. She's not verbalizing. She's not telling me what's going on. So I don't know what it is. But my thing is, you could look at her face and tell she wasn't feeling the French toast. She got up. She said, but it's not healthy. And then she got up and got herself a carrot out the refrigerator, cut up a carrot, and was like, I'll just sit in the corner and eat my carrot. And she said that she felt like, Mike didn't go to the grocery store. Like, he knows there's certain things I eat. And he didn't go to the grocery store and make sure that he had the items that I like. So now I'm sort of forced to eat what he wants me to eat, but he already know that ain't how I eat. That's not what I like. And for that, Natalie ain't my favorite person in the world, but on that note, she has a point. Like, I don't understand these guys not having things ready for these women when they get here. Like, you put in all this money, you spend all this money for them to get over here, and then they get over here and you ain't ready for them to be here. Like, I don't understand that. So she wasn't feeling it. She ain't like it. And she was feeling some kind of way. So then she wanted to go out and do things. She said, well, what am I going to do all day while you're at work? And he was like, walk around. You can unpack. She was like, it ain't going to take me but an hour to unpack. He was like, well, you can, I'll show you how to ride the quad, and you can ride around the property. And because the problem is when people come up on these visas, they can't work for a certain amount of time. And so Mike's thing is, I still gotta go to work every day. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. He's like, watching TV. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And so then they end up going out, and he's showing her around the town. Well, Mike lived in, like, a little hole in the wall, blink, you'll miss it kind of town. So when they went to downtown, like, downtown was like the Walmart. You know what I mean? And a couple of restaurants. And so she was just like, okay, well, how far is it to, I think it was, I think it might have been Seattle. I'm not sure exactly what she was asking about going to, but it was somewhere. And Mike was like, that's a couple of hours away. And she was like, well, can we go? And he was like, we can't go today. Like, I didn't kind of plan for that. That's like a lot. Like, we can't go today. And she was like, okay, well, what about this weekend? And he was like, we can go next weekend. We can't go this weekend because I have to work and I got to put the leave in. And I guess from where he works to where he lives, back to where, it's like he'd be doubling back. And he was like, let me ask to get the day off so we can go out for the weekend. Because that's just kind of far to drive in one day and come back. Like, that's a lot. So when at first she didn't figure out what he was saying by next weekend. Because she was like, well, today is Sunday, Friday. He was like, no, not this Friday, next Friday. So when it clicked, she was like, 2 weeks? And he was like, yeah. And so he was trying to explain to her, and he was like, well, we gotta, he was telling her all the different things they had, but she is a city girl, clearly, and this whole country thing is just this ain't her cup of tea, and she like a whole moment, like, they got out the car. I guess he was gonna take her to get something to eat, because she said she was hungry, and, she wouldn't talk, and he was like, talk to me, tell me what's going on, talk to me. So she wouldn't talk. And so then finally he was just like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, what is it then? What's going on? And she said, you just don't understand. You don't understand. And she was crying. And he was like, what, you're crying? What's wrong? Tell me why you're crying. And she really had a whole breakdown. And I kind of got it. Like, you're excited to get somewhere and then you get there and it's not quite what you thought it was going to be. It didn't quite add up to your expectations, and now you're kind of figuring out like how you really gonna make this work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about them, child. I don't know about them. So then we have Stephanie, who is, I think she's like 57. She's in Michigan, and her boo thing is Ryan. He lives in Belize, right? Now she is trying to be a hula hoop. She's trying to break the Guinness um, book records for hula hoops. So we see her hula hooping. She owns skin like a spa, like a skin spa that Skin Envy is called, and their focus is weight loss and age, preservation type of thing. She says that she came from a rough childhood. She had a bipolar dad, which made life really hard. She's never been married, doesn't have any children. She lives a good life. Like, she drives herself a little Maserati, honey. Got a nice little house, look like in the suburbs, of Michigan. I mean, of I guess Detroit. What part of Michigan? I'm not sure. I'm gonna just assume. I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say it anyway. She met Ryan when she was on a trip to Belize. She said the first time they met up, it wasn't anything, they was cool. And then she went back, and then it became a sexual relationship. She basically is his sugar daddy, okay? She said before COVID, she was going to visit like once every couple of months. And they applied for the visa, and they're waiting for everything to come through. But it's been like 9 months since they've seen each other. And she said, they do have infidelity issues, and she's really worried. We saw where she called, and didn't answer the phone, and she couldn't find him. Child, she didn't call the mama looking for him. And she said, I have a really good relationship with his mom. And I'm like, you paying his mom bills too, child. And he finally did call her and was like, oh, I was out fishing. And she was like, like, I don't know if I believe that, because he's been out fishing before. He'll answer the phone. So I'm not sure if I believe that he was out fishing, because he didn't answer the phone, and I don't understand. So then she had her friend come over, who is also a psychic. She was getting a psychic reading. Now, her friend ain't feeling him. And I feel like, even though the friend said that she was just reading the cards as they were laid out, I feel like the friend was trying to give her all the hints in the world and let her know. And she said, something in my spirit about him I just don't like. I don't like him. He was on FaceTime when the friend came over, and she was like, it's something in his eyes. Now, the other thing that was interesting, y'all, she was feeding her cat with a spoon. Who does that? And she was feeding the cat yogurt. Do cats eat yogurt? I guess they do, because they like milk. But yogurt? I never heard of giving a cat yogurt. I certainly never heard of feeding a cat from a spoon. Like, she was sitting there holding the spoon while the cat was eating it off the spoon. Who the fuck does that? Anyway, whatever, child. But the friend basically told her, as nice as she could tell her, this man is using you. Because she was like, well, what kind of gifts do you have for him this time? So it's clear that whenever she goes to Belize, she takes him a suitcase full of stuff. And she was like, I'm not sure if he really loves her, or he loves all the things that she does for him. And she's really worried about her friend, that she's going to end up getting hurt, because she really don't feel like this dude is really about nothing. Like, she really don't feel like that this guy is really has her friend's best interest. Excuse me. Now, here's what's interesting. Okay? She said that one time she was in Belize, and they got into an argument, and she thought he was out doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. She found him talking to a bunch of women on his phone and all this other stuff. So she put him out the hotel room, and then his cousin called her. Now, why the hell his cousin had her phone number, and why the cousin was calling her, I don't even know. I don't care. But neither here nor there, honey. She said she ended up sleeping with his cousin. His cousin? Okay, then. Child. Brian and Julia. So Brian and Julia are on their way home. They were staying at the Capitol Skyline. I know the Capitol Skyline. The Capitol Skyline Hotel used to have the best pool parties. Okay. But anyway, that's where they were staying. And they were leaving DC on their way to the farm. Now listen. They got to that farm, and I feel like they brought Julia over to be a farmhand, because immediately they started telling her what her chores were, and she was going to have to start them the next day. And they were like, well, this is where you get the eggs, and it's going to be your job to do this, and this is how you feed the pigs, and it's going to be your job to do this, and this is how... I was like, damn, she don't get a week to just chill out, relax, get to know things. Like, she can't follow y'all around for a couple of days while she figure out how to do all this shit. Like, that is crazy that you're expecting her to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and start working. Damn, can we get a minute? Can I was like, they brought her over there to work. Call her Cinderella. And then the way they was saying it was like, pay attention because this is going to be your job tomorrow. Pay attention because you're going to be doing this tomorrow. I said, damn, she ain't got a minute. She don't have a minute. I said, that's a lot. I don't know. I thought that was a lot. Then they have a chameleon in the house. And they keep live crickets in the kitchen. In the kitchen. And then they gonna tell her, oh, they don't jump out. Why the fuck they don't? I thought that was their mode of transportation, is jumping. I thought that's what they did. They jumped. Crickets jump. How you stop the crickets from jumping out the kitchen? They have like a trash can in the kitchen. And they have like these egg, like the little egg crates, and that's where they... Who does that? And who keeps them in the kitchen? Child, then they show her room. Girl. Listen. I felt mad for her. So at dinner, Brian tried to talk to his parents again about them sharing a room. And he tried to joke about it, but he was serious at the same time. And his father told him, he said, listen, let me explain something to you. Girl, they had condoms in the bedroom. I said, Lord. He said, let me say something. He said, I understand that you're trying to like make this a light moment because it's serious, but you want to kind of make it a light moment. He said, but we were very clear before she got here. Now, because you didn't handle your business and tell her what the rules were, the rules don't change just because she's here now. We were very clear. We meant what we said. Please don't do this. Like, don't make this harder or more awkward. Like, don't, basically, like when my parents used to say, don't make me embarrass you. I feel like that's what his dad said to him. Don't make me embarrass you in front of her. So that was kind of how that went. So yes, not only are you expected to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and feed the hogs, you can't even sleep with the man you with. Child, you can't even get no nookie. Child. Anyway, Rebecca and Zahid. So his visa came through. We had this whole dramatic scene where she was just checking, refreshing just hitting the button, refreshing. And finally, his case did come up. His visa was approved, and so, she was excited and saying she had to get things ready for him. And then the rest of it, we saw him with his family. He's been doing some sort of training. He said he's HVAC certified, so he's got a skill. He said he's been saving money. He said he's got about 3 months worth of money saved up. He said after that, but I don't know how long it is that they can't work. I can't remember. A friend of mine had a situation similar to this, and I don't remember how long he couldn't work, but anyway, so he's coming, so we got to see his family and everything, and his family is very they're nervous for him to go. Like, he's the baby boy. He's never lived anywhere but his parents' house. So he's very nervous about coming. And his family is nervous. His mom was very, very upset. His dad told him, listen, you're going to have to be you got to take it easy. Be nice, be kind. Don't take it easy on her. So I thought that was interesting. And that's pretty much what happened with the two of them. Okay. So I guess the next time we see them, he'll be here, honey. That's going to be very, very interesting. Yara and Jovi. Lord. Listen. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Miss Yara. But Jovi, you was doing a lot this episode, too. So they went to go get some furniture because she doesn't like the furniture he has. And she wants to, sort of make it his own. Make it her own. Now, here's the thing. I think that a lot of times what she says isn't wrong. It's her approach. It's her verbiage. It's how it comes out that's wrong. Because she was like, I don't like your furniture. We need to get some furniture to make it nice. So they get to the furniture store and they're looking at different things, and they're supposed to only be getting a mirror and a rug. But she starts talking about, I like this couch, and I like this, and I like that. And I feel like, first of all, I think Jovi just don't care. Jovi don't give a damn about how nice his couch is, how big the couch is. He just doesn't. That's just not who he is. But I also think he was getting irritated because the more and more she said stuff she wanted, I feel like in his mind he was like, well, damn, I really tried to get some stuff that was for her. I really tried to have the place set up really nice for her, and it's almost like she's not appreciating anything I did. That's how I took it. Now I don't know if that's how she meant it, but that's how I took it. And then the lady who was helping him was like, well, where do y'all live? And when he said, warehouse district, she said, oh, well, that's the nicest part of town. Oh, that's a really nice part of town. And he was like, can you tell her that? Because she act like we live in, Skid Row or something. Can you tell her that's the nice part of town? That I made it an effort to put her in the nicest part of the city. Like, please let her know that. And so the lady was like, oh, yeah, that's a nice part of town. So then Yara picked out this rug, and he was like, I don't like it. And she was like, what do you mean you don't like it? He was like, I don't like it. And she was like, but I like it. I want to get it. And he was like, I'm not putting that in my apartment. What'd he say that for? She was like, your apartment? What do you mean your apartment? And then the lady who was there was like, you can't say that. It's y'all's apartment. It's not your apartment anymore. And Jovi wouldn't say, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, you're right. I didn't mean to say my apartment. But I really think, that when we're decorating, we should both have a say and we should both like what we're getting. He didn't say that. He doubled down, was like, yeah, my apartment. What are you talking about? Yeah, like he didn't understand what he said was wrong. And even the lady who was waiting on them was trying to tell him, you can't talk to her like that. Like, you're being really rude. Like, and I felt like she was a little overstepping. But she was having fun, honey. She saw them cameras and she was playing up her part. But ultimately, Jovi was kind of rude. Like, and so finally Yara was like, she just left, and they in an Uber, and she got an Uber to go back. So they get to the apartment, and of course both of them are pissed off and they ain't speaking to each other. And he broke the silence and was like, listen, I don't want us to be mad at each other. Like, I don't want us to, he said, I'm sorry. And she said, but you was like, it's your apartment. She was like, I don't think you understand. I'm giving up everything to be here, and I just want a nice place to live. And you act like, that you can't give me that. And he was like, yeah, but I want to be happy too. Like, I don't want to just have everything and have something that I don't like. And he was like, I get it. She said, yeah, I understand. But at the end of the day, like, I'm the one that's got to live here too. Like, I just want to be in a nice place. And so he apologized, and, he was like, I'm sorry. I said, my apartment, like, I do apologize, I apologize. And so then he was like, well, let's go to, he was like, we can go. He's like, I'll go online. I'll just order all the stuff you want. Like, we'll get whatever you want. She was like, and can you get rid of that and get rid of that? And then she got happy. She's like, okay. The minute he said that he'd buy whatever she wanted, then then she started feeling better. And then she started telling him all the shit she ain't like and for him to throw it away. He was like, all right, I'll get it. She was like, now. So then he started throwing all the stuff away, child. But, I don't know about the two of them. Lord, I don't know about the two of them. Andrew and Amira. Now, Amira was the one that was coming over from France, and they had this bright idea to quarantine in Mexico together and then come on into the United States as a way around the fact that their visa was getting ready to expire. So she got on the flight and she flew. She was nervous. She was scared, but she did it. He got on the flight. He flew to Mexico. Now, he got into Mexico, no problem. But when he got to the airport, he talked to her father. Remember, her father already wasn't feeling him. Talked to the father, and the father told him she's been detained. So she's in like a detention center, and he can't find her. He's called airport security. He's called, the embassy is closed because they got there on a weekend. He can't go to the French embassy. Like, there's nothing he can do. And he is stressed out. You can see he's upset, and we see him get to the hotel. He was like, this is our hotel. I'm checking in. He was like, this has been the worst day of my life. Like, this has been the worst day of my life. And, that's all we saw. So I don't know where Amira is. I don't know if I know eventually he found her, but I don't know when he found her and what happened, but I guess we'll find out next week. And that's what it was, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.